Yes, we have a last part in the introduction of statistics, and I hope all of you are doing well. We are in the third class of our syllabus. So we started with the introduction of statistics, where we had detailed discussion on the characteristics of statistics and also the different applied statistics. And in the second part of the class, we did discuss on the functions of statistics, the limitations, and the various ways of how statistics can be used in business or in economics or in the science field. So where different statistics can be used. Now we are going with the last part about distrust of statistics and some important terms that we need to know for understanding statistics better. Distrust. When do we have distrust? Normally, distrust develops when there is something which is not true, or in the other hand, when there is some statement which is told which is not correct, or in simple language, I would say a lie. A lie leads to distrust. So, what can happen in statistics is there could be some manipulation of data which may seem to be accurate but not done for genuine reasons but for some corrupt reasons. So that distrust, how can it happen? Why will it happen? Because this statistics is dealing with numbers, and figures can always be manipulated and be easily believed. So that sometimes leads to the distrust in the numbers that are given or the facts and figures that are shared. And there are many limitations. Sometimes we ignore the limitations, and that could also be a cause. Misuse of the figures. Inadequate samples. We actually have to come to a conclusion in statistics with a good size of samples and then tell us this is happening. Like I told, the mean height of students of this class, our class, is 160 centimeters. But if I don't take at least one, if we have around 80 students, and if I take around 5 people's data, and if I tell that it is 160, it will be wrong. Out of 80, if I just take 5 people, it will not get the correct picture. At least a decent number you should take. The sample size should be decently big enough. So at least I must take 20 students sample to know the better picture or average or height of the class. So inadequate samples also can cause distrust. Lack of subject knowledge. We already discussed that statistics should be used by experts, can be used by experts only. So if your lack of subject knowledge is there, that can also lead to distrust. So what are the various remedies? Every problem should have a remedy. So now we learned the causes. Now what are the remedies? How can we remove this distrust? We have to be cautious. We have to be careful. Need of caution. Next, statistical limitation should be taken into consideration. We should know what limitations are there. Only it deals with quantitative data. It only takes numbers into account. It takes only estimation into account. So there are some limitations. We have to keep that in mind and deal with statistics. Self-control in statistical policies. Self-restraint. So you have to have self-control in whatever happens when we are using statistical methods. Statistics must be used by experts. If it is used by common men, naturally it will be misused. So it has to be used by experts. It might be a limitation, but it is important that statistics must be used by experts. Anybody and somebody uses statistics, then there is a cause for any manipulation and wrong data. So statistics must be used by experts. The 4 points are sufficient for you. Some basic concepts I will now discuss What I have done is, instead of just discussing in terms of what is population, what is sample, I have given you difference between the two also. So you can answer for two ways: define population, define sample, or what is the difference between population and sample. That way we have a number of terms: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 terms what we will be doing. So I will take up one by one. It serves both as difference and individual. So sometimes they'll ask only what is population, what is sample. Sometimes they'll ask what's the difference between population and sample. So this box is important. I would like you to write this entire box as it is in your notes. So completely you transfer it in your notes as it is. You see and write, put a line in the middle. So now listen carefully. Population. Population means big. You must keep in mind big. Sample means small. That is basically an understanding between us to understand the concept. But you can't write population means big, sample means small. This is just for your understanding. But population means totality of units under consideration. That means all units put together, total of all the units put together. Unit means individual. The total of all the units put together gives us population. And if I take a small portion of the population, the representative units, its units, the representative units of a population is called sample. What example is best? I'll take your class only. If I say height of all the students in the class, it is population. Height of all the students in the class. If I say height of 20 girls in the class, I'm taking only a sample, a smaller portion of the whole population. Population is a whole class, whereas the only 20 girls, if I take as a small group, then that is called sample. I hope you understand. Or if I take the entire college, the height of students of the entire college, then it is population. If I take only the height of students of class 1 statistic, first PUC statistics, then that is sample. So the representative unit of a population is called sample. You can write example also. Height of students of a college is population. Height of students of statistics class 1, your class is known as 1 BSA, is sample. Finite population. A population divided into two types: finite and infinite. Finite population means it's countable. Infinite populations are where you cannot count. A population which contains finite number of units is called finite population. See the words, you have to write as it is since it is definition. Other things, okay, you can use your own words, but in definition, you'll need to use the technical terms. A population which contains finite. Finite means what? You can count. Countable number of units is called finite population. Example, population of fully grown trees in Lal Bagh. We can go around and count. The population of fully grown trees. So you'll count only the tall, fully grown. If you have to count all the trees, small, big, everything, it is very difficult. It is almost infinite. That time, it becomes infinite population. A population which contains infinite number of units is called an infinite population. The population of number of trees in Lal Bagh, all trees. Imagine, how will you count? It becomes very difficult. Then that comes under infinite population. Qualitative characteristics and quantitative characteristics. The characteristics which are not numerically measurable. Qualitative characteristics is what you cannot count by numbers, which are not numerically measurable. But quantitative characteristics are numerically measurable. So here the keywords are numerically measurable. So qualitative characteristics are characteristics which are not numerically measurable, which are numerically measurable. Qualitative, young, good, bad. Quantitative, height, weight, marks, all this is quantitative, variable. A quantitative characteristic which varies from unit to unit. A quantitative characteristic which varies from unit to unit. What varies? Height, weight, marks, all this comes under variable. Attribute is a qualitative. It's talking about the adjective part of it, the quality of the situation what we are talking about. A qualitative characteristics which varies from unit to unit is called attribute. It could be skin color, intelligence, clever, not clever, good, or behavior. All this comes under attribute. You can't give marks for behavior, isn't it? You'll just say, oh, he's very good, or you'll say he's not so good, or you'll say he's horrible. So that's how attribute is normally addressed with. Whereas variable, you'll say his height is 160 centimeters, very good. So you will tell the number, you will tell in terms of number. So that time it is variable. Attribute is where you can't give a number to it. Okay. Discrete variable. Discrete means only specific. So it gives only specific values within a given range. Whereas continuous variable is, it assumes all possible values. Discrete variable means just the particular number. It assumes only specified values. Whereas here it assumes all possible values. So see where the difference in the word is. Assumes only specified values. Here it assumes all possible values. Other parts in the definition is same. That's how you have to learn. Discrete variable is a variable which assumes only specified values within a given range. Continuous variable is a variable which assumes all possible values within a given range. Quantitative data and qualitative data. It's not quantitative, it's qualitative data. Numerically expressed data and not numerically expressed data. The quantitative characteristic for numerically measurable characteristic, they are not numerically measurable measured characteristic. Same way, quantitative is numerically expressed data. Qualitative is not numerically expressed data. Last one is ordinal scale and nominal scale. If I assign a number for every unit, then it's called nominal scale. Just 0, 1, 2, a number is given for every scale. Whereas ordinal scale, numbers assigned to observations that can be arranged in ascending or descending order. There is an order. In a particular order, if you arrange it, then it is called ordinal scale. Homework questions for you. What are the causes of distrust? What are the remedies? Just write the points and explain the following terms with examples. You can give examples for various differences that have been asked. Population, sample, qualitative and quantitative. Qualitative characteristic, you can give young, good, young, old, good, bad. Quantitative characteristic, you can give height, weight. Qualitative data, again, you can give same thing. And variable and attribute also you can give on similar lines. Discrete and continuous variables. So this is about it, what we can write. And this is the Saturday's class. I've not done much because I don't want to start the fresh chapter. This ends the first chapter actually. So next Monday I will be starting, today's Friday, sorry. Next Monday I will be starting with the fresh new chapter, which is organization of data. So that's why I'll end today. Have a good weekend, but don't forget to finish your work and then enjoy yourself. See you. Thank you.